We did have a lot of technical difficulties, but we made it. Well,
we made it through.
We made it. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning to Kay. Look at how nice you look today. Your sweater's adorable
too.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
God, that
your hair be hairing.
So does yours, girl. It looks beautiful. Just a reminder to everybody in both Kay's chat and my chat right now. If you guys have any questions for Kay, we'll leave some time at the end. I don't know when the end is going to be. Just whenever the vibes are kaput, we'll end. But at the end, you guys, I will ask some questions that you guys are sending through anonymously. It looks like Pal sent the one about the technical issues that we were having though, so I guess you can do it non-anonymously if you want. But exclamation point Q, I think you do have to be in my chat, unfortunately, for that. But my mods are going to be doing that occasionally through the interview today. So that if you guys are hearing an answer to anything and you're like, I have a question in regards to that, you can click on it. I won't ask everything, but what I'll do, Kay, is I'll take note of everything. And then if you wanted to just, I don't know, at any point answer some of those in your own space, you certainly can. But I won't ask all of them because we've already got 5. So it's great. It's awesome. Well, guys, the purpose of these interviews is to get to know really good people. There's a lot of outstanding people on this platform. And I believe that those people deserve a highlight, and Kay is one of them. For context, Kay and I played together, August of last year. We were invited to a girls' night on a Friday and connected there. So silly. And it was just like, at least for me, like we were just like 2 peas in a pod right then and there. I thought. I thought.
That's true. That is true.
So I was like, well, what better person to start this series than Kay? So, I think the first and most critical in-depth question is, Kay, what are we drinking this morning?
Oh, very in-depth. Very crucial to who I am. It is tea, actually. Just kidding. Usually it's coffee. But it's a citrus mint soother. But yeah, no, we went with like a little tea vibe, but we do have a chai charger later, which is like a chai and espresso. So yeah. Both really good things. What are you having?
Well, that sounds delicious. I will say I'm having I'm doxing my full government name almost. A cranberry dark chocolate shaken espresso. It's a little chunky right now for what reason I don't know.
Oh. Okay.
But we're vibing. A tea sounds great though. It sounds outstanding and wonderful and lovely. So, what do you usually drink every single morning? Like I'm usually there to see it, but what do you usually do every single day? Do you mix it up?
It's almost always like, I do mix it up quite a bit, but it's almost always like something with white mocha or like a sweeter flavor, like a vanilla-y. Every once in a while, like during the Christmas season, we've been going like mocha, peppermint sort of stuff or whatever, but almost always white mocha. Yeah.
I love it.
Something sweet.
It's a good year-round flavor too. Great for the holidays, but great year-round.
I agree. Yeah. Something sweet, but like not over the top.
Yeah.
Lots of coffee flavor.
I totally agree. Well, now that we've got our caffeine, we got our jitters out with the technical issues. Like I'm ready to dive into some of these like really nitty-gritty questions. The other one that's probably, exactly. The other one that's probably really hard for you to answer is just like, tell us about you. Outside of gaming, we'll talk enough about that and talk about streaming and content creation stuff, but tell us about you for people who don't know anything about you and may come across this.
Yeah. Honestly, like staying home and being a mom kind of just takes up a lot of my time. So a lot of it is momming and parenting and, the daily household, like cleaning sort of things. But when I do find time to myself, I actually like to color quite a bit, like those little acrylic paint markers. So I've been into that. Like I'll read entire book series. I think I read like 70 books over the course of the year from like January to June. So it's kind of like an obsession there. And then other than that, like a lot of like music listening, singing, just kind of dancing around the house, like normal type things. Yeah.
I love it. And what's your favorite book series of all time?
Oof.
Not to put you on the spot with that.
Yeah, that's rough. 70 books over the course of like 6 months. That's hard to pick through. But I would say like ACOTAR, or like it's the acronym for A Court of Thorns and Roses. It's like a really big fantasy series that's going around right now. And that was kind of like the one that got me introduced back into reading and like fantasy type things. So anything along those lines is awesome. But that is definitely like one of my top 3 favorite series.
I It's a great series. I read it myself, and my poor husband, when I was going through and reading all of them, was like, I'd like give him some like snippets and be like, fairies. And he'd be like, what in the?
Yeah, I know. And when you think of fairies, they're like wings and things, and that's like what you like. Okay, yeah, it's not that, but it kind of is. But at the same time, it's not. I don't know.
No, I mean, there's a good reason that people like those books. So I'm not surprised to hear that you're saying that that's one of your favorite series. Okay, well, we're going to dive straight into other questions regarding gaming. Okay, so how did you get into gaming? What was the first game that you ever played? Do you remember?
Oh, I actually do. And it's a funny story because it's not like a game that I actually played, but I am one of 6 siblings, and 3 of which were like mainly in the house because it was kind of like a yours, mine, and ours situation. Anyways, my 2 older siblings, they always had, just 2 Xbox controllers and an Xbox, and they played Halo all the time. And I was young, I was like 5, so I wanted to be like them. I'm like, please, like I just want to play. Well, they would make me believe that I was Cortana, which was like the little holograph snippet of the little cutaway scenes and stuff like that. So that's when I kind of like really got into it. But then, of course, we had like Nintendo with Mario Kart and stuff like that. And I mean, we've been gaming ever since. But as far as like getting into actual gaming, I think it was COVID era where we played Fortnite with Mr. Latte like all the time, all the time. And that was super duper fun.
I love it. Do you guys still play games together too?
Yeah, every once in a while. Yeah, we actually just did a Fortnite stream this past Friday, and we just recently got back into Fortnite, but he only really likes that one. So if we can find like another little game in there that he might like, then I'll try to get him on that, but
no.
Usually just Fortnite.
I love it. It's nice to be able to have those types of things that you guys can do together and spend the time together and bond or crash out. I don't know how that works, the dynamic between the two of you, but it's nice to have that.
Yeah, before in COVID, I would think because we were just in the house together all the time and that's the only thing that we were doing together, it was like, okay, I can definitely see why this game would make couples get divorced, but now we're much more chill. Now we're okay. I don't crash out so much, but
you guys are a duo in life and you're a duo on Fortnite. It's perfect.
Yes.
It's great.
Exactly.
2 different spaces.
Exactly.
I love it. Well, how about this? We talked a little bit about gaming. We talked a little bit about you too. I'm sure you'll sprinkle more about you in, as the conversation flows, but we're obviously streaming on Twitch right now, right? How did you get here? What made you start streaming?
Oh, that's a really good question too. So I mean, I feel like I kind of like struggled with depression on and off throughout my whole entire life. So becoming a stay-at-home mom, I'd been home for like almost a year, and I've always been playing video games, like Warzone being the main one. And I've always kind of thought about streaming, but then when I became a stay-at-home mom, I had a lot more time on my hands and said, like, I'm gonna need something for myself to not, have some sort of interaction outside of just a 1 and a 3-year-old babbling at me all day. So then I was just like, I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna just try it. And honestly, I think with the people that I've met and stuff like that, we just never looked back. And then I've never even dabbled on any other platforms or anything like that because Twitch has worked amazing. So yeah.
When did you start streaming?
It would have been February of 2024.
Okay. And how many followers are you at right now approximately?
I think almost 4,300.
Isn't that crazy?
It is insane, actually. We've grown like exponentially out of nowhere.
Yeah. And for good reason, to be honest with you guys. I've been here quite a while in Kay's community, and she is so well deserving of it. So the plug for Kay, for when this gets posted on YouTube, is make sure that you go check her out. She's absolutely outstanding and has such a great energy and is such a great presence as a streamer. So with that, Kay, what can people expect when they come to a Kay stream?
Honestly, there's never a plan in place. And I think that's what makes it interesting. Like, sure, we play the same game like almost every single day, but it's like a lot of laughs and giggles and being silly and goofy and playing with friends or doing community games and a whole lot of like unsolicited movie quotes and show quotes that maybe you don't know or maybe you do, I don't know, but they're there. And then that's really it. We just like to vibe out and hang out in just a loving community. I think that's what makes it amazing. Yeah.
No, I completely agree with that. So with all of the good things that you've done this year in the beautiful space that you've created, what is something that you are most proud of? Whether that's this year or even last year, like it could be just you starting. It could be some event that occurred. It could be an experience or a specific stream. What stands out to you from the last almost 2 years of streaming? If somebody were to ask you, like, this is the coolest thing, or what was the coolest thing, what would that be?
Honestly, it's not like a specific moment. Yeah, it's just kind of collectively everything together, just the community in itself, like everybody being so kind and beautiful and generous and having their own little friendships and stuff like that. Like I think I'm just most proud about my community and themselves, like they're just amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, the creator creates the space, but the people who join are almost, I'm going to say this is almost like an extension of the beauty of the creator. So good, what is the word that I'm trying to use? Good, looks for good. So good people are going to look for a good person to follow and good person to watch. And if that's you, then you're creating this just like massive space of very good people. So I again, know that the space that you're creating is good, and I've experienced that, and everybody in the community is a light. And again, that's a testament to you. So outstanding work. Whatever you're doing is working very well.
Well, honestly, yeah, it was just the good people found me and then just weeding out the bad ones, maybe people that didn't fit the vibe of chat and stuff like that in a respectful way.
Yeah.
And I think that we've done a really good job of doing that and just keeping the good ones anyways.
Yeah. Well, I think it's kind of a question that somebody asked. How do you cultivate a good space? How have you done that?
Oh, that is rough, and I think I'm still learning about that too, because it is difficult. Maybe somebody isn't exactly, doing something bad, but they're not making you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're making other people in chat feel comfortable or something like that. So I think it's kind of going off of like what your gut feeling is. Maybe they're not saying something bad, but are they making you feel great in your own space that you are cultivating? And if they're not, then maybe it's just not the community for them. That's it.
Yeah. That's got to be kind of hard though, especially, I mean, if you think back to maybe the first time you had to do that as a streamer, or you were a smaller streamer, that must have been hard. At that point, maybe it's still not easy, but
yeah, it's definitely hard. I mean, because I think especially as like a smaller streamer, you're like, oh, I finally have, a viewer, like, please don't leave. But at the same time, like, if you don't like their vibe or they're really just not making you feel great in your own stream anyways, like, no matter what size you are, big, small, medium, growing, however, it's time to say maybe this just isn't the community for you and you're not for me. And that's okay. Yeah. There's more than tons of streamers out there on Twitch that they can go and watch, and maybe they'll find a better fit somewhere else. You're just not a solid fit here. Yeah.
Exactly. But that's also just something to consider as not you, but as people are chatting too, is like, just be conscious of the things that you're saying, because you might catch a ban, and people don't ban for no reason. So
yep. Or like, maybe they're banned in somebody else's chat and there's a reason for that, or who knows, but it's just,
who knows?
Just be kind and polite. That's it.
Yes. Yeah. As simple as that, right? As simple as that. Yeah. But sometimes it seems it's not. But that's okay. That's okay. All of this being said, there are difficult decisions that you have to make as a streamer to make sure that your space is safe for you, because this is a space for you, and you've figured out a good way to do that. And I think it's good to hear from somebody who's built a platform that's successful that it's okay to make those decisions. So thank you for speaking to that.
Of course.
Sorry to go down the route of what's your biggest challenge, or what has been your biggest challenge. But I think that's important to hear too, is we talked about good things, right? But what's been the hardest thing that you've learned over the last couple of years streaming?
Honestly, I think it's like widely known that making the time to make content or clips outside of Twitch is very hard. Promoting your stream and marketing yourself and stuff like that. I think it's really hard because finding your brand, like who you are as a content creator, is really rough, I think. And that's been a really hard, difficult, obstacle, but also, kind of figuring out like who you want to work with in your close space too, as far as like friends that you game with, people, and their intentions and stuff like that. I think that's been a little difficult. That's definitely been a learning curve. But yeah, I would say that those two things. Other than that, it's been been pretty easygoing because I hit the go live button and I'm just here. So
No, I love it. In regards to like content creation, how about that? Like posting on socials and things like that. What have you learned in that space? Is there anything that tips or tricks that you've got for people on posts of yours that have gone a little bit viral or have gone viral, or content that you feel like picks up better than other? Or is it just a matter of I post this many times? Like, do you have any advice in regards to social?
Honestly, no, because I feel like that's something that I can definitely like still be working on. I feel like we've gotten better, but the main thing that I've picked up, the same as streaming, is just being consistent, posting consistently, doing the things, whether it's a bad clip or a good clip, just post it. It doesn't matter. Like as far as quality goes, whatever it is, just keep posting it, because the more that you post it, the more that you are putting yourself out in front of those people, and the more that they're going to start recognizing like, oh, I have seen that name. Maybe I do want to go check out the stream or something like that. And I think that's been really important. But I will say it's really odd. I don't think that there's like a rhyme or a reason to why some clips go viral. Sometimes you'll sit there and edit a clip for, every bit of 30 minutes to an hour or something like that and put a lot of work into it. And it just completely flops. And then another clip that you've made where it's maybe a horrible quality or something like that, and you posted it within 5 seconds and it's got hundreds of thousands of views. And you're like, all right, okay. I would just say if you have it, post it. Don't spend a whole bunch of your time editing and things like that. Just post it.
Thank you for that. I think the piece that I'm taking out of that the most is if you post a lot, it's going to get picked up somewhere, or people are going to recognize your face. And maybe they're not connecting so much with your content. They're not like, this is the best thing I've ever seen, but they're starting to get familiar with who you are as an individual and what you look like. So that if you popped up on their recommended on Twitch or something like that, then they're like, oh, I've seen them before. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Exactly.
I think that's wonderful. Or they'll just keep popping up or you'll just keep popping up in their feed, and then maybe eventually you'll grab them and snag them, and that's great. So I think your advice about just post something, and it doesn't have to, like you said, doesn't have to be the best clips. It doesn't have to be these great kill streaks and great. If you have that, those are awesome to watch too, but sometimes it's just the most unfortunate. Like Kay posted this one from yesterday. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, you guys. Make sure that you're following her on TikTok. Oh my gosh, it just made me laugh. She was going to go do a finishing move on a guy, and then it didn't work. I'm just going to leave it there. You guys got to go check it out. It's too funny.
Yeah. And that's the thing, post the good, the bad, the ugly all the time, no matter what it is, because it's all kind of like cultivating, marketing yourself per se to your personality, so you guys will see clips like that on stream all the time, like way more than you're going to see some crazy, squad wipe or something like that. It's a lot of just silliness. And I think it's really important to just post whatever you have. Yep.
Yeah. I have one other question. It wasn't on the list that I sent you, but were you nervous to start streaming? What kind of feelings did you have when you were like, I'd like to do this, I'm just not sure if I should? Like, what went through your mind during that process?
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah. Like it's absolutely terrifying. And I will say, even like my first maybe couple of months of streaming, I was still really camera shy and not really, knowing how to go about it, because there's not like a handbook on how it's done, sort of thing. But I was just like, what is the worst that could happen? Like I was expecting to go into it with a lot of trolling people, because maybe I'm not the best at the game or, however it is, you kind of expect a little bit of that, I think, whenever you open yourself up on the internet. So that's why it was a little nerve-wracking, but I feel like it's actually leaned a lot more towards the better than it was the worst. So it's definitely like the best thing that I've done. That's for sure.
So like what Shia LaBeouf says is just do it. Just do it. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Arm pump and everything. Yep.
I don't want to do the full thing, but I was like, I do a little bit so you remember.
Arm pump and everything.
No, thank you, Kay. Thank you for answering all these. I'm going to go to some of like I'm going to call it the audience questions. In my chat, you guys, if you've thought of anything that you guys have questions on, !Q, there's a link there and you can send through anonymous questions. I'll pick a couple of them. We still have 6, so at least we aren't like getting slammed with the questions. So I've got a question from somebody here, from someone who just started out streaming. What strategies did you use to grow your audience, and which ones have you continued since the beginning?
Honestly, yeah, I would just say like my biggest things are consistency and making sure that you are cultivating the exact community that you want to, because it's not so much about like the numbers sort of thing, especially starting out and even now. It's more so about how you feel when you stream. So starting out, I know it can be really difficult because you want to gain as many viewers as possible and stuff like that, and you start to focus on the numbers quite a bit. But don't do that to yourself, whatever you do. Just make sure that one, you're having fun, you're staying consistent, you're sticking to your schedule. That's the biggest thing. People need to know when to
Mhm.
find you. And yeah, make sure that you're protecting your space at all costs, no matter what. So
I love that. And to bounce off that a little bit, you're cultivating a space for yourself, right?
mhm.
And you started gaming when you were younger. I'm hoping I'm not speaking for you on this, but anybody I think who starts gaming, they're gaming because that's a safe space for them, right? And
Mhm.
when you're on Twitch, you're gaming, but you're doing more than that. So if you're trying to continue the joy of gaming, you have to have the joy with everything else. And if like you said, if people aren't making you
Yes.
feel good, that can kind of suck the joy away from the game, and then kind of the whole
Yeah.
thing starts to feel a little bit icky. So your advice about just keeping the space safe for you, this is a space for you, and you have to control that to the best of your ability to make it what you want it to be. So I appreciate you sharing your
Yes.
input on that.
Yeah, and I think it kind of goes like the saying, you want to keep it a hobby and
Yeah.
not necessarily make it a job.
Mhm.
When you start letting in those people and it starts making it feel like a job, that's when it becomes not fun. And then yeah, just kind of goes downhill from there. So, yeah, keep it open, keep it safe and have fun.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing all
Yeah.
that. The next two questions are kind of tied together. It's about being a mom and streaming,
Okay.
and it's great. They're great. What would you tell moms who want to stream but feel guilty or scared to start?
Oh, that's really rough because it there's a lot of mom guilt that does go with it. But what I will say is that being a stay-at-home mom or even a mom in general, like especially working moms, I give you guys absolute freaking kudos because that's even more rough. But I think making this own time for yourself and kind of prioritizing yourself at least once in the day or once a week or whatever it is, however often that you want to stream or you want to game, it's actually crucial to parenting because when you sit there and you start to not prioritize yourself or take care of yourself, you start actually kind of lacking in being a parent, I feel like. So that's where why I started streaming because it was like, okay, I'm not being the best mom that I can be because I just feel so drained day in and day
Mhm.
out. I need something for me. And now I've realized that the time that I do have with the kids, I feel like I am a lot better for it because I feel rejuvenated and just being a person myself instead of just being a mom. So I think it's important to prioritize yourself, do something for yourself, whether it is streaming or gaming or, just reading a book for the day or something like that. Who knows? But just, yeah, remember that you are a person outside of being a parent and not just a parent too. Don't get lost in the sauce.
I think that's beautiful. I really do. I mean,
Yeah.
and I'm guessing your children probably think it's pretty cool that you stream and that you do this,
Yes.
right? And that
They
ties to the
do.
next question
Yeah.
too: is do your kids think that you're famous? Because you are, but do they think you're famous?
I'm not famous, no, but they do actually. Yeah, they always point out like, when off screen and stuff like that, they're always like in my chair hanging out and, acting like they're being me and stuff like that. So that is actually something that who knows? I would like to think that they actually look up to me for it, but like now my oldest has started kindergarten and she's going around telling everybody like my mommy's a famous streamer, like my mommy's a streamer for her job, like this sort of stuff. I'm like, oh my God. It's really cute. But yeah, no, it's definitely interesting because now they kind of have their own little dreams as far as gaming and streaming and stuff like
Do
that goes
they?
because we're a gaming household. So it's really neat. That's cool. It's cool.
What kind of games do they play? Do they play? I don't know. Do they play Fortnite or do they
Yeah.
play like their own types of games?
Well, the 3-year-old, not so much.
Okay,
The
that makes
6-year-old,
sense.
yes. Now, 3-year-old, they do play like those little phone games where it's like Avatar World and stuff like that, but those are like more learning games. But now our 6-year-old has started Fortnite and she's started like roasting kids on Fortnite. So I'm super proud. I'm hoping that she keeps it up and
Good.
yeah, she wants to be like a little gaming baddie. So I'm all for it. We're supporting the heck out of her.
If I ever played Fortnite again and I came across your daughter and she said some mean things to me, I think I would cry.
Mhm.
I do. I really do.
Yeah.
But that's
Funny
a
story.
beautiful skill.
Yeah. No, she actually did make some kids cry. It was kind of sad.
Well, you have to tell us about that.
Well, yeah, of course. So she's been playing like not necessarily like the actual lobbies and stuff like that,
Mhm.
but it's like a place that you can go and like build or like you can fight other characters, but it's mostly bots. Well, it was another girl, what we assume was about her age that she was on the mic, and she killed her multiple times in a row. And by like the third time, this girl is just crying, and Bren doesn't have a mic, thank God. But she was just like, you're so bad. You're a bot. You're so bad at this game. I had to correct her a little bit because I was like, a part of me is proud, but the other part of me is like, girl, you got to be respectful. Goodness sakes.
I feel
Yeah.
like that would be a tough balance to be like, yeah, that's my daughter. And like,
Yeah.
actually, here's a learning moment for you. Please be respectful.
And it's kind of hard too because it's like, they see me streaming and, sometimes you can you can get a little bit toxic. So it's like, I'm willing to accept that maybe that's partly my fault, my doing, she hears me. So
Oh my gosh. I love
yeah.
it. I think that's got to be just such a cool thing as a mom to be able to experience gaming with your children in a different
Yes.
space. But do you ever play with them or her?
No, not Warzone quite yet, but like we do play
Fortnite?
Fortnite together. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm sure as she gets older, like the games
Oh,
are
yeah.
going to evolve and all sorts of stuff. And I think that we're actually going to get her like her own little setup sort of thing at some point where we could do
Awesome.
like Mario Kart and other little games that maybe that she can do. But definitely as she gets older, 100%, I'm gonna try to kind of shove her in that direction with me, to have something to do together.
Oh, and now my camera went out. Hold on.
Oh no. Technical difficulties. Please
Sad.
stand by.
Okay, we're back, I think. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Look at that.
Yours is so crispy.
I
Wow.
cannot wait to edit this. Some silly, goofy energy for this. I wonder if it only stays on for like 30 minutes, but that's beside the point. Let's
Possibly.
see. We talked about the technical issues. One pal. Okay. I'll do one more question that's tied to like gaming and family. So seeing your daughter, speaking to what we were just talking about, seeing your daughter already so into gaming, would you be excited or cautious if she wanted to stream as a teenager?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
I think it's exciting because obviously it's something that I do, but I also started it at a much later age where I had a lot more,
Yes.
worldly knowledge, I would say. So if she did want to start streaming as a teenager, I think that that would be fine. Maybe we would do like a no camera or something like that. There would definitely be some sort of restrictions on there, to where it would be a safe space for her. Yeah.
I think that's great. You'd be able to, support your daughter in doing something she wants to while still having the constraints on there as a parent to make sure that it's safe for her and for your family. So I think that's cool. It's a W, Mom.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, you're
Thanks.
welcome.
But you best believe that I would be modding the heck out of it. And yeah, it would
Yeah.
it'd be pretty locked down.
Yeah, and that's going to be in years too. So who knows if this will even be a thing anymore, right? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I'm sure it will be, but
Yeah.
maybe streaming won't exist and it'll be some other crazy technological thing. Or maybe she won't even
Yeah.
care about streaming anymore. You know what I mean?
Or maybe it'll just be like a whole different platform or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, no, like I would never discourage her from any of her dreams, to be honest with you. It's just making sure that I'm there with her to make sure that it's safe every step of the way. You do you, girl. I'll never sit there and try to hold you down from anything that you want to do. But
I love it.
yeah, I'll be right there with you. So
Okay, well, I got one more question, and it's not that scary, I
Wow.
promise. What's on your
Okay.
wish list for Christmas? And do you exchange gifts with Mr. Latte?
Oh, that's actually really tough because that might be the hardest question of the day. I don't really want for anything. I know that sounds terrible, but it's maybe just coffee gift cards from Mr. Latte. I don't know.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. We've never really done like a gift exchange,
Mhm.
especially since having kids. Like we focus mainly on them, and then we're both really guilty of just buying ourselves whatever we want. So like It'll be a Christmas gift for sure, but we'll get it like weeks beforehand because it's just something that we want and we
Yeah.
went out and bought. So, yeah.
It's fun being an adult because you can buy the things that you want when you want them for the most part. As long as you've got the money, you're like, okay, well, Merry Christmas to me.
Just go and get it. Yeah. Merry Christmas. Or yeah, you text your significant other and be like, hey, this will be a part of my Christmas. Thank you so much. Yep.
Marriage. I love
Awesome. Marriage. Adulting.
I have, it's not a question from the chat, and chat, thank you for all the questions that you guys sent over. There was one other one. I'll send that one to you offline, Kay. And if you guys have any others that you think of too, feel free to send them and I'll send them over to Kay. And she wants to address them, she can, but she doesn't have to. It's a free world. But the last question I have for you is, what can we expect for you next year? I mean, we're already at the end of 2025, which is absolutely nuts and crazy. What are some of your goals for next year?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, this year has been an absolute whirlwind, and I feel like we've really like grown exponentially. So I think that my biggest thing that I'm going to be manifesting, it's a stretch for sure, but I'm hoping to get partners just because I thought, you know, I didn't know if streaming would bring anything, to be honest with you. And now that it's grown into so much more than I ever could have expected, you know, partner would just be that next little step of just like a holy crap, like I really made something happen here. So hopefully, partner, I would like to do a lot more like IRL streams as well too, so that way you guys can get to know me a little bit more outside of just gaming and just playing Warzone and stuff like that. Because yeah, I do like to cook and bake and stream and you know all of those things. That would be really cool. So more IRL streams and hopefully partner is maybe the next step in 2026.
I think those are amazing goals. And it's a great segue for me to say, thank you, Kay, for answering all of these questions. Anybody watching this, you can see what her name is on the screen here. Please make sure you guys are following her wherever you are seeing this so that we can help support Kay get to partner. A wonderful person. I've learned a lot from her over the last year and almost a half that I've known her. And Kay, I really appreciate you taking that time on a Wednesday, silly little Wednesday morning for us to get to know you a little bit better. So, yeah, make sure that you guys are following her. She's lovely. And if not, you'll catch these hands.